You have always understood systems, the way money moves through the world, the way wealth accumulates, the structures beneath the surface that most people never think to question. You have seen it clearly, analyzed it honestly, and still found yourself standing outside of it in ways that make no logical sense. That gap between what you understand and what you are living is the most Aquarius form of financial pain there is. It is not ignorance. It is not carelessness. It is the particular frustration of someone who can map the entire territory and still cannot seem to find their own coordinates inside it. You have probably been told you think too differently to build conventional wealth, that your ideas are ahead of their time, that your path does not fit the standard blueprint, that the financial systems designed for other people were simply not designed with someone like you in mind, and part of you believed it. Not because it was true, but because it explained the gap in a way that felt at least partially honest. But here is what that story has been costing you. Every time you accepted the gap as proof of incompatibility rather than as a signal that your relationship with receiving needed to change, you postponed the financial life your mind has always been capable of building. Take one slow breath in, feel the weight of your body, settling into whatever is beneath you. Let the breath arrive without the urgency that Aquarius energy carries almost constantly. 2026 is not the year you finally figure out the right strategy. It is the year the internal frequency that has been blocking the strategy you already have finally clears. The year your understanding and your receiving finally occupy the same space at the same time. Your mind has always known the way. Now the body is learning to believe it too. There is a specific financial wound that lives inside almost every Aquarius, and it is rarely named correctly. It is not a wound of incompetence. It is not the wound of someone who does not understand value, or does not know how to work, or lacks the vision to build something real. It is the wound of someone who was taught, directly or indirectly, that their particular kind of mind, unconventional, non-linear, ahead of the moment, was a liability in a world that rewards conformity. You may have been the person with the most original ideas in every room, who watched those ideas get passed over in favor of something safer, something more expected, something that fit inside a box you were never built for, and over time that pattern left a residue. A quiet but persistent belief that financial success requires you to become someone more ordinary than you are. That to build real wealth, you would have to betray something essential about how your mind works. So you held back, not completely, not obviously, but in the specific way that Aquarius holds back when the system asks them to shrink. You participated partially, gave partially, committed partially, because full commitment to a path that required you to be less felt like too high a price. Underneath all of that is something worth sitting with honestly. The grief of a genuinely exceptional mind that has not yet found the financial form that fits it. That grief is real. It does not make you broken. It makes you someone who has been looking for a door that matches your actual shape in a hallway full of doors built for someone else. That door exists. And 2026 is the year you stop walking past it. Find the place in your body where the financial frustration lives right now. For many Aquarius, it is in the chest, a low-grade pressure that sits just behind the sternum, or in the mind itself, a constant low hum of calculation, running projections, scanning for the angle, never fully quiet, never fully resolved. Place your awareness there. Not with the analytical intensity that is natural to you, not with the impulse to immediately understand what it means and what to do about it, just with presence, which is actually one of the most difficult things an Aquarius mind can offer. That place has been holding the accumulated weight of years of almost breaking through, almost landing the thing, almost arriving at the financial stability that always seems to be one good idea away. And it has been doing this while the mind kept generating new approaches, Because for Aquarius, a new idea feels like a solution, even when the real work is internal rather than strategic. Breathe into it now, a long, slow breath, moving into the pressure, into the hum, into the place where financial anxiety has made its home. On your exhale, release one layer of the belief that your unconventional nature is the reason money has not arrived. Release the story that you have to solve your way into abundance rather than receive your way into it. Release the version of you that keeps generating new plans to avoid sitting with the feeling that the old ones did not work. Let that leave slowly, on a breath that is longer than the mind is comfortable with. Feel the very particular quiet that arrives in an Aquarius body when the thinking just briefly stops. In that quiet, something important becomes audible. The part of you that already knows abundance is not a puzzle to be solved. It is a state to be inhabited, and you are already capable of inhabiting it. Who are you when money is not a system you are trying to crack, but a resource that moves naturally through the life you are already living? You are someone whose originality becomes a direct financial asset, not despite the way your mind works, but because of it. Someone whose ability to see what others miss, to connect what others keep separate, to move in directions no one else considered, generates value in a way that is genuinely irreplaceable. The Aquarius who steps into financial abundance in 2026 does not do it by becoming more conventional. They do it by becoming more fully themselves, more committed to their own vision, more willing to receive the returns of a mind that has always been operating at a frequency most people cannot access. Place one hand on your chest right now. Feel the steadiness beneath your palm, the consistent rhythm of a body that has supported an extraordinary mind through every financial season it has faced. Say it to yourself, in the body, not just in the mind where Aquarius lives most of the time. I am someone money moves toward because of who I am, not in spite of it. I am someone whose unique way of seeing the world creates financial value that is real and sustainable. I am someone who receives abundance as naturally as I generate ideas, because both are expressions of the same frequency. Let that move through the chest and downward, into the belly, into the legs, into the ground beneath you. Notice where the body accepts it as true and where a quiet voice says not yet. Breathe into that voice, not to silence it, but to let it hear something it may not have heard before, that it is safe now, that the frequency has changed, that receiving is not something you have to earn through more brilliance. It is something you allow through more trust. Feel into this specific sensation now. The feeling of your financial life beginning to reflect what your mind has always been capable of producing, not the anxiety of almost, not the frustration of the gap between vision and reality, the specific feeling of alignment, the moment when what you know meets what you are living, and the distance between the two finally closes. The feeling of money arriving through channels that make complete sense for who you are, not through grinding in systems that were never built for your frequency, but through the natural expression of the value only you can offer. Let that feeling begin in the chest and move outward in all directions, upward through the throat and into the head, which is where Aquarius lives, giving the mind permission to rest inside the feeling rather than analyze it. Downward through the belly and into the base of the body, grounding the feeling in the physical rather than leaving it as an abstract knowing. Aquarius, you have spent years understanding abundance from the outside, mapping it, studying it, building theories about why it has not yet arrived. This is the moment you step inside it, not as a concept, as a felt experience in the body, in the breath, in the particular warmth that moves through the chest when something that has been blocked finally finds its opening. The financial life that matches your frequency is not a distant possibility. It is the next version of a story that has always been moving in this direction. Every insight, every unconventional choice, every time you held to your own vision when the conventional path would have been easier, was building toward this. Feel that trajectory in the body now. Let it be real. not as hope, but as something the body is already recognizing as true. And let the recognition be enough to carry you forward from here. Before this moment closes, stay in the stillness just a little longer. Notice your breath, notice the mind, and whether it is quieter than it was when you arrived. Notice whether the low hum of financial calculation has softened, even slightly, into something that feels less like vigilance and more like ground. This is what it feels like to be an Aquarius who has given the body permission to receive, not just the mind permission to understand, who has allowed the frequency of abundance to become a physical reality rather than an intellectual position. 2026 is not the year you finally figure out the missing piece. You have never been missing a piece. You have been one internal shift away from the financial life your mind mapped out years ago. And that shift is not a strategy, it is a settling. It is the moment the Aquarius body catches up to what the Aquarius mind has always known. Money is already moving toward you, through ideas that are ready to land, through connections that are ready to form, through opportunities that have been waiting for the version of you that believes they are allowed to arrive. When you leave this moment, carry the quiet with you. When the mind reaches for the next plan, the next pivot, the next way to think your way into abundance, pause, return to the feeling in the chest, let the body lead for once. You are an Aquarius at the beginning of a financial chapter where your greatest competitive advantage has never been your strategy, it has been your frequency, and your frequency in this moment has shifted in a way that is real, that is felt, and that the world around you is already beginning to respond to. Take one final breath. Let it arrive without direction. Let the body receive it the way it is learning to receive everything now, openly, without condition, without the need to first understand why it is allowed. It is allowed. It has always been allowed, and from this moment forward, some part of you will not be able to forget that.